Hi everyone, it's me, Teresa Perrin. Welcome back. Today I want to discuss with you the ticker VRAX. It's V as in Victor, R as in Romeo, A as in Alpha, X as in X-ray. And guys, this had a massive move to the upside today, but I believe it's only just the beginning. And I'm going to discuss why with you in this video. So without further ado, let's get started. Please remember that nothing I say is financial advice. Always do your own DD. Okay, guys, so VRAX was up over 58% today. Absolutely an amazing day for this, $3 and change stock that closed up above $5. At its high, it actually hit $6 before it started to fall back down towards close. And I'm sure that had a lot to do with profit taking from day traders and people that are just scared to hold things overnight in this market, guys, because we all know how volatile it's been. So in the after hours, we see a slight pullback followed by it's trying to move back to the upside again. I don't take much account into what happens in the after hours because a lot can change between now and market open. In fact, I really like to see the stock open around the same price where it closed at. That way you're preventing any gaps from occurring on the daily chart. And guys, I anticipate that this is going to be a wild up and down ride, but ultimately I think we are headed back to the upside. And the reason that I believe that is because I believe it hit its bottom here, looking at the chart from it IPO'd back in July, on July 21st, I believe, of this year. And as you can see, it kind of went crazy. It hit a high of $29 within the first week of IPO. I think it was day 6 actually it hit that high before it had a massive move to the downside that just kept trending down. And interestingly enough, guys, either the Ortex information is FUD and the information in Fintel is FUD, or this has all been pure selling and not shorting. Now, if you look on Twitter and stuff, people have been saying they've been naked shorting this stock from the beginning. Honestly, I can only go by what's in front of me, which shows me that I'm going to go over it in a minute with you and show you as well. But it shows me that this is not a short squeeze play. However, based on the movement today, I would think otherwise. And this does not have options due to the fact that it is a new ticker and they have not developed them on it, which is better for us. So I consider that a positive. But anyways, getting back to this, it hit its bottom at $3.01, and it's been going back to the upside over the last couple of days. And I believe that we are now moving into an uptrend, and that was confirmed by today's candle. We'll make sure that it plays out tomorrow. However, I wouldn't be completely surprised, given that it's a Friday, if it actually prints a candle that is actually within this engulfing candle. Now, it's either going to, in my opinion, I either expect to see it do that or to continue a wild move to the upside. This stock has an extremely small float, which I'm going to show you. Only 4.35 million shares, guys. That's nuts. That is absolutely so tiny, so it can move very, very quickly. And as you can see, like I just said, the 52-week low is $3.01. The 52-week high is $29. The average volume, guys, is essentially the entire float gets traded in a day, which is strange to say the least, especially given the fact that the short interest doesn't tend to exist according to Ortex and Fintel. Now remember that data is self-reported, so who knows if it's true or not, or if it could be retail shorting because they don't have to report anything. And the volume, guys, today was actually more than 5 times the entire float at 21.86 million. So it was absolutely crazy. If that continues tomorrow, then yes, I do suspect we see a move up, if not a day of consolidation. Either way, I think that we will start to see a very bullish trend forming on this ticker. And guys, just so you know that VRAX is a monkeypox play as well. And I know that this article was written about SIGA. However, Texas reported its first U.S. death linked to monkeypox. So I believe that that could be the reason that this stock is suddenly getting attention again. And that leads me to also tell you to keep an eye on SIGA, GovX, that's GOVX, and TNXP. Those are just a few of the monkeypox stocks that I'm aware of. So I definitely think that they should go back onto your watch list, because not only this article, but I was scanning the news, I think it was yesterday, about monkeypox, because I noticed that GovX is really cheap right now. And, you know, these things tend to go in waves, right? You get the first rush, then everybody sells off, and then suddenly something happens with monkeypox again. And boom, it's back in the media and the stock starts skyrocketing. So that could be what's starting to happen here. So I would definitely keep your eye on those plays. Now, let's take a look at what we're seeing on Fintel and Ortex. All right, so according to Fintel, there is only 1.26% short interest, yet 43.61% of trades are being done in the dark pool. And guys, there are currently 95,000 shares available to short, and this was taken before market close. So I'm kind of wondering if they decided to try to borrow some of those and short this, hoping to distract people from continuing to buy it. But who knows? It could just be people taking profits. Again, please remember too, we have a 3-day weekend coming up. So tomorrow, I do expect, given my max pain theory, which I often use to see on Fridays, the flow of the market. Now the SPY, the max pain is at 403, which would indicate that we are going to see the market green tomorrow. Now, again, things can happen in the news or whatever else, but market makers tend to like to move stocks in that direction, you know, of the max pain, so that they profit the most. And unfortunately, you know, it is what it is, but that's kind of how I read the market, because oftentimes, more often than not, it's correct. So, you know, that's a helpful tool on Fridays, just in case you're not familiar with that. Maybe this weekend I'll make a video on how to look at those. But at any rate, we are looking at a 93.96% cost to borrow, according to Fintel. Now, what I ask myself when I see this is, why is it so expensive to borrow a stock that has so many shares, yet no short interest? Doesn't seem to add up, if you ask me. Keep that in the back of your mind. And again, this is just showing you the short volume ratio, 43.61% today. And guys, the low has been 37.14 over the last 2 weeks, and the high has been 56.21. So we were about average today. Now, I wanted to look at this, and let me see if I can make it bigger for us. This is Hoot Money's tweet. And guys, if you don't know who he is, he also has a YouTube channel. I suggest you check him out and follow him on Twitter. He has some great stocks that he talks about. This is back from 8.5, and it said, got Ortex to add VRAX. Look at how fast short interest is climbing. I am not bullshitting you guys. They're shorting the F out of this thing in excess of just the short exempts. Now, I did contact him today before I made this video to ask him his thoughts, and he said to me they've been naked shorting this from the beginning. So I didn't get a theory on why, but I know you can't see this. The short interest at this time was over 10%. See this like peachy colored line that's straight up that he has circled? That was the short interest. And I just find it odd that it suddenly drops to nothing. Now look at the Ortex now. That's where it gets really juicy. They're saying that the utilization on this stock is only at 6.38%. Guys, there's 4.35 million shares, of which was traded over 5 times today, the entire float, right? Yet the utilization's only 6.38%. That doesn't add up. That doesn't add up at all. And this was taken today, like, you know, around closing time. And guys, something's funny here, because you don't get 6.38% 98% utilization when a stock's been traded the entire float 5 times over? Tell me what you think in the comments below, because I'd love to hear your thoughts. But I'm going to tell you mine. And something funny is going on here, and I'm not buying this. And I'm not buying the move down in the after hours either. If this stock gets the volume it got today and continues to get this pressure put on them, whatever game they're playing, I think it's going to end fairly quickly and not well for them. Let me say that. Now, they're showing the cost to borrow at 212.77%. But then look at this. 7 days ago, it was at 213.96%. And the utilization was at 11%. Guys, it's not adding up. You just saw me show you that the float gets traded every day. And it's on a different screen, so I can't even go back to show you at the second, but I will in a second and show you what I'm looking at. But this is not, something's up. Like, something is definitely here, and that's not a conspiracy. This is the numbers that they're reporting, and it doesn't add up at all. They're saying that the free float on loan is only 2.34% or 110,000 shares. Now, let's go over and take a look at the actual flow. Here we go. All right, so they're claiming the short interest, again, is only 2.44%, which is a 43.09% increase, which would explain the difference of 1% from from Fintel versus the 2% on, see, because they said 1.26%. And Ortex is showing us 2.44%. So interesting, to say the least. Now, if you remember right, the cost to borrow on Fintel was at 93.96%. But according to Ortex, the minimum is 217.16%. The average is 227.59%, and the max is 228.17%. All over 200%, right? Interesting again. Now, borrowed shares, 68.8 thousand. They didn't return any. So they increased the number of shares they borrowed, guys, by 68.8 thousand, which again is why I think you're seeing that dump in the after hours. They're trying to persuade people to get out of this stock, in my opinion. Guys, you be the judge. Please let me know in the comments below your thoughts, because I'm telling you, these numbers, they don't add up at all. And we're going to go back just 1 second and look at what was reported as far as the float being traded and if there's any turnover. So let me just bring up that one last screen. Okay, guys, this was the shot from Webull, so you can look at this yourself. But see here where it says average volume 4.21 million. I'm looking in the right-hand corner, the second row down. If you look above it, it says turnover 0.00. This turnover means that people aren't selling. There's no turnover. This is buying. You know what? I'm going to pull up something else. Hang on a second. Okay, guys, so just before I show you the next thing, I want to remind you that the volume was 21.86 million. The free float is 4.35 million. So again, that's more than 5 times the float that was traded today. Now look at this. This is the level 2 data. And guys, the reason I wanted to pull this up is because I wanted to see if indeed they were shorting. Because when you short a stock, you sell it. You don't buy it, correct? So with the price moving up the way it did today, there was more selling action than there was buying action. The outflow was 32.13, where the inflow was 30.65. So that tells me that there's shorting going on, because usually when the price is going up, there's more buying than there's selling. Very, very interesting. Again, another piece of the puzzle that's not adding up in this situation. And as you can see, the majority of selling was actually by retail. So I'm wondering if that's why it's not showing up. Because if you look at the small, medium, large, and extra large orders, the selling is coming from the small. Interesting. I wonder if retail shorted this down from the 20s, guys, and they're trying to keep it from running up until they can cover lower. But if they shorted that high, why aren't they just covering and getting out? It doesn't make sense to me. I mean, it's usually hedge funds that use that tactic, that are, you know, strong-willed, and they just want to win at any cost. So something doesn't add up here. But anyways, I think that we're going to see some nice moves in VRAX if this volume continues. And like I said, please comment below and let me know your thoughts on this, because it doesn't make sense at all to me. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, please remember to hit the like button and have a great night.